Most actors dream of landing a role on a franchise as iconic as Star Trek, a series that shaped science fiction, launched careers, and built one of the biggest fan communities in television history. But for one actor, the fame, attention, and pressure of the Star Trek universe became too much. And in a decision that shocked fans everywhere, he walked away from Hollywood altogether, choosing a life no one ever expected. This is the unbelievable story of the Star Trek actor who quit fame to become a taxi driver. Our story begins in the late 1960s, during the rise of the original Star Trek series. Among its talented cast was Robert Walker Jr., the actor who played the mysterious and troubled Charlie Evans in the iconic episode Charlie X. The episode was a hit, and Walker's performance was unforgettable, emotional, unsettling, powerful. Fans instantly saw him as a rising star in Hollywood. But what they didn't know was that Walker struggled deeply with the very thing many actors crave: the spotlight. Hollywood wasn't like the world we know today. Back then, actors lived under constant scrutiny. Studio contracts were strict. Public appearances were mandatory. Personal lives were practically owned by the press. And for Robert Walker Jr., a man who valued privacy, authenticity, and creative freedom, the machine of fame began to drain him. Even though he continued acting for several years after Star Trek, appearing in films, guest starring on shows, and even earning award nominations, Hollywood never felt like home for him. He disliked the chaos, the pretension, the non-stop pressure to stay marketable. And slowly, the work became less fulfilling. By the 1980s, Walker reached a breaking point. Instead of continuing down a path he no longer believed in, he did something almost unimaginable for a recognizable actor from one of the biggest sci-fi franchises of all time. He stepped away from acting and reinvented his life completely. Robert Walker Jr. became a taxi driver. Yes, the same man who once acted alongside William Shatner and Leonard Nimoy chose a job far from the cameras, fame, and Hollywood expectations. He wanted to live on his own terms. He wanted real conversations with real people. And he wanted a life where he didn't have to pretend to be someone else. Passengers who recognized him were stunned. Some asked why he would give up fame. Others assumed he had fallen on hard times. But according to friends and family, the truth was far simpler. He was happier this way. Driving a taxi gave him peace. It gave him normalcy. It gave him freedom, the one thing Hollywood never could. In his later years, Walker reflected on his career with no regrets. He appreciated the fans, the memories, and the place he held in Star Trek history. But he also believed that walking away was the healthiest choice he ever made. And that's the lesson in his story. Sometimes success isn't about the roles you take on, but about the life you choose to live. The galaxy of Hollywood wasn't for him, but he found his own path back on Earth.